Our robot actually is designed by us, leading to a certain actuator design, and that gives us the possibility to integrate the actuators inside our structures.
The capability of the actuators are based on simulations and maneuvers that we have performed in-house that will best suit our kinematics of our robot. Having the design in-house allows us to optimize the structure and the packaging of these actuators.
We're designing from the ground up, which is very interesting. A lot of people are just integrating components together, but we're doing full system design, which includes custom motors matched with a gear train and allows us to really optimize for what we want on the bot.
The key technical advantage that we have is that we are able to design vertically. So we're able to design magnetics, gear chains, and do very tight and compact packaging for our designs. It's important because in robotics, the level of integration required from all the systems grows exponentially. You're not able to grab components off the shelf and start integrating them and succeed.
You're building something from scratch. To see it from its inception of a design CAD and to see it machined in parts on a table, to see that all come together is truly amazing. We're doing things we've never done before, and if we have the opportunity to recruit somebody that has that experience, I think when they join this team, they will truly be impressed with the speed of how fast we were able to acclimate and to optimize and have something that is a work of art, as I feel, a working robot.
Welcome to Electrified. It's your host, Dylan Loomis. Quick shout out to my newest patrons, Alan T, Trevor G, Alaska Dave, and Edward W. Thank you for choosing to support the channel. So Optimus getting some love over the weekend, and it's always good to be reminded that Tesla is building these actuators and some of these other components from the ground up, vertically integrated. They're not just taking pieces off the shelf and putting them together to make Optimus. Optimus was also showed off at the China Import Expo, and some reporters are saying that it exceeded Tesla's expectations. A Tesla employee working at the booth with the Model S and X Plaid and Optimus said the hectic scene beat the company's expectations. They had just hoped to share the latest products and the vision about new energy vehicles, but many visitors were keen on owning the new models. So far today, Tesla stock down around 4.5%. You could try to pin this on a few things. There are some more COVID cases in China and Shanghai specifically. Some people have concerns over midterm elections, and if Republicans win some of these races, then ultimately the current administration may have some troubles pushing through with their climate policy. So as you can see, when it comes to sustainable energy companies, pretty much red across the board so far today. And a lot of people out there were saying that this Twitter overhang was going to immediately lift when the deal was done. Personally, I don't think that's the case. Some of this deal was funded with debt from Elon, so unless he figures out how to generate revenue with Twitter, there's still a chance he has to sell more Tesla shares on the table. But of course, none of that is fundamental to Tesla's future business. So you know what I was doing this morning. Currently, Tesla stock is around 29% off of the 200-day moving average, which presents one of the better buying opportunities we've seen in the last 2 years, going by this metric, pretty much on par with the lows we saw earlier this summer. What this means is if you've purchased Tesla stock anytime after around December of 2020, this current opportunity will give you a chance to lower your cost basis for that block of Tesla shares, something that personally I always enjoy doing. The Model Y has finally received its certificates of conformity from the EPA for its 2023 models, but there are 3 models, not just 2. We have the long range, the performance, and now this third is going to be dubbed the all-wheel drive. Earlier this year, for a very short time, Tesla had a standard range Model Y that was supposed to be using 4680s, structural pack, got around 279 miles of range, but it was really only available to employees and maybe a select few customers. So of course the question becomes, will this new all-wheel drive Tesla Model Y model be with 4680s or 2170s like most Model Ys have been so far out of Giga Austin? Unfortunately, at this time, we don't have any official range estimates or data about that vehicle. I'm sure we'll get it in time. And remember, Tesla's 4680 cells will enter mass production from Panasonic in Japan in May of next year. Whenever this model becomes available officially, I would guess it'll be in the neighborhood of $60,000, just like the standard range version was earlier this year. You may recall Spoken Reviews on YouTube got one of those standard range Model Ys. He recently uploaded a review of the first 10,000 miles, basically saying everything was excellent except there still was some phantom braking. This car supposedly had the 4680 cells. I'll drop this video below if you want to watch it. Now I have to say, there's a lot of speculation out there right now that because these 3 certifications for the Model Y for 2023 took longer, some people are saying that they're all going to now have 4680s and that's what the delay was for. I definitely do not think that's the case. However, I would say there's at least a chance that this new all-wheel drive model does indeed have the 4680s in the structural pack, and it becomes an option that's available all the time, which of course is very exciting. But there's still a chance this new all-wheel drive model is an off-menu option for a time, or it's a vehicle with limited availability like we saw earlier this year, so too early to know for sure. On that note, Tasmanian shared this image of 2 Model Ys in the Giga Texas parking lot that apparently have white interiors. This one looks like it has chrome door handles. Maybe that's just a protection. This could be a big nothing burger. However, maybe Giga Austin is producing Model Ys with a white interior. To date, it has been only black. Sam Corris from ARC shared some data from EV volumes. We have global BEV and plug-in hybrid sales in thousands. Looking at 2022, this is their forecast for the full year. Globally, this would put us at a 13.4% market share for EVs, which means we've now crossed that 5 to 10% threshold when it comes to new technology adoption and the S-curves, where things start to get very exciting. He also shared this one, global EV sales by OEM for the first half of this year and the growth compared to the same time last year. BYD in the #1 spot, but of course they do a lot of plug-in hybrids. So just looking at full battery electric vehicles, Tesla still in a commanding first place position. And you can pause the screen if you want to view the bottom part of this chart. Just a quick unfortunate one, in addition to Elon working 120 hours a week, next week starting November 14th, he will have to defend himself at trial when it comes to his 2018 pay plan. A Tesla shareholder is trying to rescind Elon's 2018 pay package, saying that him and the board set performance targets that were too easy. Complete insanity if you ask me. When it comes to Tesla's Megapack factory in Lathrop, I just want to add some numbers to the discussion. They're saying 10,000 Megapacks per year in terms of capacity. And of course the question becomes, how long will it take them to get there? It'll probably be a few years, but each one is around 3.9 megawatt hours. Times 10,000, that's 39,000 megawatt hours, or around 40 gigawatt hours of capacity. And just so you know, each Megapack can power around 3,600 homes for 1 hour on average. And each one costs around $2 million, and that number will change based on if Tesla installs it or not. But 2 million times 10,000 a year would be $20 billion in incremental revenue just from this factory alone at full capacity. And I still think this is going way overlooked. Before the Inflation Reduction Act, to get the investment tax credit for battery storage commercially, most of it had to be powered by solar panels, but that requirement has been removed with the Inflation Reduction Act. So businesses are going to be able to get a 30% tax credit on this battery energy storage until 2033. This is a huge deal. So as long as these commercial systems have at least 5 kilowatt hours of capacity, they'll be eligible for that 30% credit. Before getting into this next one, you'll need to know what the Green New Car Assessment Program is. Basically, they try to increase awareness of the environmental impact of vehicles. In the latest batch of tests, these 3 vehicles all received 5 stars, which is the best you can get, and Tesla did lead the way by a slight margin. These 3 cars achieved nearly maximum scores due to their high energy efficiency of their powertrains, far exceeding the ratings of conventional non-electric cars. The Model 3 was the first Tesla to be tested by this organization, and scrolling down, got an overall index score of 9.8 out of 10. Both the Neo and the Renault came in at 9.6. I'll include the article below if you want to jump into more detail. As of October 31st, the Tesla Virtual Power Plant Dispatch Program with PG&E has officially ended. I will include this blog post on how the season went directly from Tesla below if you want to check it out. I just want to highlight, for the year, the number of participants reached over 4,500, in September. We've been over the benefits of this program before, but if you're new, go ahead and pause the screen and check it out. I think something interesting might be happening here with this new unique EV operation near Detroit. Tesla is revamping a location that will be a unique EV research, testing, repair, and maintenance facility. It's supposed to be able to handle 60 to 80 customers a week. Will be a lot of software updates. Not going to be your grandfather's bump shop because of the sophistication of the chips and software. This is unique. This, according to a planning director, and this will be the first one in Michigan. But to be the first one, this is going to have to be different because Tesla has 2 other regular, boring old service centers in the state. This is reportedly the uninspiring building that Tesla is working on for the facility, but it's so interesting because it's only about a half an hour from Munro Live. So, could Tesla be doing some EV research and testing with the stud team at Munro Live just down the street? That, of course, would be an awesome collaboration. And we already know Munro has been advising Tesla on certain things now for years, so this could be somewhat of a more official setup, but again, just my speculation. Now, in fairness, I would not feel good uploading this video without mentioning this could just be another basic service center that's getting some unique classifiers because of zoning or permitting or whatever. We'll see. If you've been online at all over the past few months, I'm sure you've seen a few debates at least on the cost of gas versus the cost of charging, which one is actually cheaper. I know this varies, but there's an excellent resource not many people are aware of. It's just chooseev.com and they have this savings calculator. Of course, it will be linked below, but you should share this with everybody you know because you can go in and plug in whatever data you want to. They do have drop downs for certain makes and models of vehicles and EVs. So if you don't know the MPG of your car or the miles per kilowatt hour of your EV, you can get it pulled up for you. It just makes it so easy and straightforward. For example, how far does $4 drive your car? I just plugged that in. That's the price of gas where I'm at right now. And this is using a 2018 Honda CR-V, which gets 29 miles per gallon. So on that side, it's 29 miles. On an EV side, if you're looking at a Tesla Model Y long range, that would get you 121 miles for $4 at a 12 cents per kilowatt hour rate. In other words, this EV would get you 92 more miles of range for the price you pay for 1 gallon of gas. And if you scroll down, they do have other cool features as well, but again, just a great resource that everybody should be made aware of. We have Tesla suspending orders of all Model 3s in Taiwan. Some people are pegging this to geopolitical tensions. I don't think that's the case. Personally, it seems like it would have more to do with the Inflation Reduction Act, and next year, Tesla wanting as many vehicles from Fremont being sold in America to capitalize on that incentive because Model 3s going to Taiwan have only been coming from Fremont. Additionally, it could be Tesla wanting to focus these deliveries in the United States in Q4, not having to deal with shipping them around the world and not having some of those vehicles delivered in Q4. The Model Y from Berlin is still available for Taiwan. Have a listen to some of these comments about sodium-ion batteries. The gist, they're just not as effective for EVs as previously believed. They're best used for backup power or for two-wheelers in most cases. The energy density of the cells would have to increase 8 times to get anywhere near what EVs need. An executive from CATL, the same company that was hyping this battery up, said the final product doesn't end up costing less than lithium ion. An executive from an electrolyte maker said these batteries are worthless. Sodium ion, so far, not living up to the hype. Renault is aiming for a lofty valuation for this EV business it's trying to spin off that it may IPO next year. Currently, Renault as an entire company is worth $9.3 billion, and they're looking for a $10 billion valuation just for their EV business. Nissan may invest north of $500 million for a stake of 15% in Ampere, which is the name of this EV rollout from Renault, but the agreement hinges on a wider deal that would see Renault lower its 43% stake in Nissan to about 15% over time to rebalance the alliance. It should come as no surprise, but some Ford dealerships are pushing back against Ford's mandate that they have to spend around $1 million for EV upgrades to be able to sell EVs in the future. The CEO of Pennsylvania's Automotive Association is saying that these Ford mandates violate multiple provisions of Pennsylvania law, but Ford has told Automotive News they're confident that the plan is completely legal and overall feedback has been positive. But dealers in at least 13 other states are saying otherwise. And essentially everyone everywhere is going to be fighting this battle at some point. Now we have Lucid filing a federal lawsuit in Texas accusing their state's rules on auto dealerships of economic protectionism that hurt Lucid's ability to sell its EVs in the state. I've seen plenty of confusion out there about this one because The Boring Company tweeted this talking about full-scale Hyperloop testing. These are not the same. The Boring Company, most people just think of the regular loop when you think of Las Vegas and those current operations. Regular cars in the loop, that's just loop. Hyperloop is going to be vacuum sealed tunnels, which we do not yet have in a commercial setting. And I'll send you guys off today with a cool little video update from Redwood Materials. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Please like the video if you did, and a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters.